Hi there, this is Chuck Rozanski, and this is the first installment from Friday of 2015 at the San Diego Comic-Con. I wanted you to see a brief glimpse of what it's like out on the streets here, because I've shown a lot of photos of what it's like in the hall, but something that most people don't realize is that the convention now has become so large that there is an enormous amount of extra material that happens in the street where you can actually come to the convention, never enter the hall, and still keep yourself very, very busy by attending events that are held off-site. And that includes going all the way down to the Hilton Hotel, which is about half a mile that way, and then going up to the Marriott and the Hyatt. In fact, the Marriott is building an entire convention center of their own, which is going to be attached right to the hotel. The Hard Rock Cafe has things going on across the street, but just being here, again, if you are not into crowds, if you are not into masses of people, you're not going to like it here, because it gets very, very crowded here. But if you like diversity, if you like seeing great costumes, if you like the energy of tens of thousands of fans all clustered into one physical area, this is actually a rush. I love coming to San Diego Comic-Con. I don't mind crowds, and it's great being in a like-minded group of people that are just here to have fun. But yeah, you get jostled a little, you get bumps, and that's just inevitable, and waiting at the lights and the kind of, surly security guards and la-da-da. It's just all that kind of stuff. But San Diego Comic-Con is magical, and I highly recommend that you do it at least once in your lifetime. If comic books were a religion, this is Mecca. So we'll go inside the building now, and I'll show you some more about the convention. Hi there, this is Chuck Rozanski from Mile High Comics, and we're about to go up into heaven. This escalator is taking us upstairs in the great San Diego Comic-Con, and we're about to go into the area where they do all of the events and programming. This is an area most people don't see, so follow me along here and we'll see how crowded it is up here today. If you take a quick look downstairs, you'll see, first of all, that it's crazy busy out in the actual hallway areas here. But then take a moment and look outside of the building. One of the things about the Comic-Con this year that has, I think, been really great is that you can now attend Comic-Con without actually coming in the building. Across the street, they have all kinds of events, especially for young kids, where they can go and participate in things and not have to pay Comic-Con admission prices. It's sort of like going to Disneyland anymore and going to Main Street Disney, and you can shop and you can have dinner and you can enjoy the Disney experience, but you don't actually go in the park. This is in the front of the convention center and then also in the promenade back behind. It's really way cool. So anyway, now that you've seen the great crowds outside, we'll go around the corner here to program. As you can see in this part of the programming area, and this is just the main hallway. Right now, we're right at the point where people are coming out of programs, and probably more than a few are looking to go into the meeting rooms. I know that there's at least 20 meeting rooms up here, and they vary in size from just a couple of hundred people up to several thousand. Almost every meeting room will end up being packed out, and they generally have 4 to 5 programs going on at the same time. It makes it kind of hard for folks because you're having to pick and choose that which you go to. And then, of course, if you want to go downstairs and go in the dealer's room, well, you have to decide what programs are you going to skip. It gets really hard, actually, when you're at Comic-Con, and when you're a dealer and you're trapped downstairs and there's a program that you would love to see upstairs, that's a problem too. So the biggest thing about Comic-Con is that you have to learn to prioritize. Upstairs at Comic Con, and this building has the same kind of really cool fabric roof that the Denver airport has, and they had it here first, by the way. But it's a really great roof, and it allows light in and makes for a very airy space. There are tables here where they have freebies. The art show is up here. And then also there's just places where you can sit and relax and eat. So this is a very nice area of the convention. We'll go out onto the balcony out here if they'll let us. And I'll show you a little bit of what the convention is like here too. It's not just about the dealer's room. So let's take a look at this other area. Okay, we're now on the outside of the second floor of the building, and we just discovered the answer to something, which is why the aisles aren't as crowded as they normally are around the toy booths downstairs. Well, that's because they moved everybody up here. This is the line to get the Hasbro toys. And so if you want to get the freebie Hasbro toys and sell them on eBay, you're going to be standing up here for a while, because that is not a 5-minute line. That's more like a 2-hour line. And I don't know. I got better things to do with my day than to waste it doing that. But let's take a look out here. This is part of what makes San Diego an unbelievably fun convention to attend, is being able to be here on San Diego Bay. The weather is outstanding. It's really beautiful here. Okay, we've come downstairs again now, and we're back in the dealer's room, which is where my heart really beats true. And what we're looking at here is we're in about the 900 aisle, and we're looking down towards the media aisles, and it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, so this is sort of the peak of the day. But what I find really interesting about this particular moment in time is that we are seeing a much heavier level of foot traffic on this end of the hall than what I've seen in half a decade, easily, because I'm not quite sure why. We just showed you that there were tons of people in the Hasbro line upstairs, and certainly there were a lot of people up there for programming. But the biggest change that I've seen this year at the show is that at this end of the building, we're seeing much more interest in people shopping with what are mostly smaller vendors. You have toy vendors here, you have a few publishers, like there's HarperCollins and things like that, but mostly this is a lot of mom and pop shops down at this end of the building. And it seems like people are getting away from the massive studio presence and coming more down here. And I think that's just awesome, because, you know, when you make a purchase or when you support Hasbro, they could really give a rat's ass whether you live or die. Okay, but if you make a purchase from Mile High Comics, or you make a purchase from, you know, Joe Bob's Comic Book Shop from Scottsdale, Arizona, or whatever, these are the people who rely upon you to keep them in business. And people always say that they value having options and that they value having diversity within the people that they deal with, and yet, more often than not, they don't support them. And I'll just tell you a real fast story. I had a person come up to me here at San Diego Comic-Con a couple of years ago and bemoan the fact that we had closed our Garden Grove store. And we used to have a really big store in Garden Grove. It was about 10,000 square feet. I loved that store. We had it for 13 years. But it died of neglect. We finally just did not have enough people coming by to shop at the store. Well, this guy that came by said, yeah, I drove by your store the other day and the location was empty. And it was like, yeah, brother, we've been gone 4 years. 4 years. And you finally noticed we were gone? With that kind of support, how could we possibly stay in business? So if you have a local comic shop, I mean, coming to comic book conventions is great. Shopping with online companies like Mile High is great. But never forget to also support your local comic shop. Keep that guy in business, even if he's a pecker, because it's your options that disappear if he disappears. So that's it for today.